All right, today we are cracking open the playbook on how to deliver an absolutely killer investor pitch. We're not talking theory here. This is a step-by-step guide for turning that brilliant idea of yours into a real funded business. So let's dive in. This is the one question that every single founder has to answer. You've got the vision, right? You've got the passion. But how do you actually get someone to believe in it enough to write a check? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down right now. So here's our game plan. First, we'll deconstruct what a great pitch even looks like. Then, we'll get into the specifics, mastering that crucial 90-second hook and the 10-minute deep dive. After that, we'll look at how investors actually score you. And finally, we'll cover the rules of the game, the stuff you just can't afford to ignore. So where are we getting all this from? Well, this isn't some textbook theory. We're pulling from a real-world framework, an actual document used to train the next generation of entrepreneurs. Yep, our guide today is the official assessment brief for the investor pitch from Bahrain Polytechnic's Lean Startup course. And you have to understand, this isn't just another class project. For these students, it's a super high-stakes simulation of what it's really like to pitch for an investment. And when I say high stakes, I mean it. This one pitch is worth a full 15% of their final grade. Just like in the real world, the pressure is on. This is that moment where you have to prove your concept is actually viable. It's absolutely critical. Okay, first things first, the hook. This is probably the most important part of any pitch. You've got maybe 90 seconds tops to grab an investor's attention. This is your classic elevator pitch. And honestly, it is make or break. Get it right, and you show them you have total clarity and that you respect their time. Now, the assessment is actually split into two parts. You've got the short, pre-recorded 90-second elevator pitch. That's your opening shot, and it's worth 5% of the grade. But then comes the main event. A 10-minute live pitch to a panel of judges with a Q&A session, and that one carries double the weight at 10%. So, what has to go into that 90-second hook? The playbook gives us 4 non-negotiable steps. 1. State the problem. Make it super clear and relatable. 2. Present your solution. What is it, and how does it fix the problem? 3. Define your target audience and be specific. And finally, 4. What's your unique value proposition? Why you? You gotta land all 4 points, and you have to do it fast. All right, so you've hooked them. They're interested. Now it's time for the main event, the 10-minute deep dive. This is where you lay out your entire case and really prove you've done the work. And there's a lot to cover. The playbook lists 7 key things. You need to expand on the problem and solution, your target market, and show your business model canvas, which is basically a 1-page strategic plan. But you also have to present real market research, demo your prototype or MVP, your minimum viable product, show evidence that you validated your idea, and give a basic financial overview. It's the whole shebang. And here's the real test. After your 10 minutes are up, a panel gets 5 minutes to just grill you. This is where they find out if you really, truly know your stuff. Can you defend your decisions? Do you have the evidence? This is where you prove you can lead the whole venture. Okay, now for my favorite part. What's so great about this document is that it basically gives us the cheat codes. We get to see the actual scoring rubric, the investor's scorecard. So let's look at what really separates a decent pitch from a truly exemplary one. First, you gotta understand the scale. They judge everything from 0 to 5. A 2 is emerging, which means you kind of tried. A 4 is proficient, which means you met the standard. But a 5 is exemplary. That means you knocked it out of the park. And that's the score we're aiming for. Let's just compare for a second. In that elevator pitch, an emerging score for your value proposition means it was vague, maybe partially aligned. But to get an exemplary score, it has to be outstanding, compelling, memorable, and precisely aligned. The investor has to immediately get what makes you different. See, this is the gold standard. Are you just saying what your company does, or are you crafting a message that's actually compelling and sticks in their mind long after you've left the room? That's the difference between a polite thank you and getting that follow-up meeting. And it's the exact same logic for the live pitch. A level 2 pitch has a weak justification and almost no evidence. But a level 5? It shows exceptional problem-solution fit. The problem is compellingly defined, and this is the most important part. It's backed by strong evidence. It really all comes down to one word: evidence. It is not enough to just say you have a great solution. To get the top marks, to get the investment, you have to prove it. You need data, you need user feedback, you need market research. When you're talking to investors, evidence is the only currency that matters. And finally, let's talk about the rules of the game. Because in any high-stakes situation, whether it's a university course or a VC pitch, it's the fine print, the little details that can absolutely make or break you. Now, this is a super modern rule, and it's so important. You can't use AI to generate your pitch content or your analysis. Why? Because the investors, or in this case, the professors, have to know that you understand your business inside and out. It has to be your thinking, your work. And the other rules? They're just as strict, and they perfectly mirror the real world. Submit late, you're capped at a barely passing grade. More than 3 days late, you get a 0. Forget to submit your slides, it's incomplete. It all hammers home one point: professionalism and preparation are completely non-negotiable. So there you have it, the complete Founder's Playbook. From that 90-second hook to the 10-minute deep dive, the scorecard, and the rules of the game. It just goes to show you a winning pitch isn't about luck. It's a structured, evidence-based approach to telling a really compelling story. So the only question left is your idea ready for the pitch?